Hello, everyone. Welcome to Relationship Realities. I am Dr. Kimberly Clay. I am your facilitator for Relationship Realities. You know what I'm going to say. Go to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen and hit that share button. I need an easy 200 shares on this classroom experience. Go ahead. I'm counting on you tonight to get those shares. Somebody needs help with relationships, with family, with communication. We are learning so much in this environment, and what better place than among friends and family to get better together. So go to that bottom left-hand corner, hit the share button, like, share, also tag. You can hit the @ in the comment section and then start pressing letters to add names. Someone would be so grateful to you because you tagged them in this awesome experience. Again, I'm Dr. Kimberly Clay, and I want to help you grow together, to have better relationships, to have better communication. We are all learning together. Yeah, I'm learning just like you're learning. So this is an awesome opportunity for us to learn to be better together. There are two announcements that are coming up that are near and dear to my heart. First, the Dream Big and Win Journal by Dr. Kimberly Clay, Ph.D. I'm so excited, y'all. This is my first book, my first project, the first of many to come. I've thrown myself into writing and to sharing my thoughts and my inspirations with you all. So I want you to take heed to the announcement, and I'm counting on your support. I really need you to help me push this because somebody needs to dream big and win. And then the second announcement will be from Family Vibes Counseling Incorporated, which is the nonprofit organization that I personally founded myself. Because of previous struggles in life, it pressed me to help others. So I need your support. Stay tuned for these announcements and keep sharing. Your destiny is waiting, and help is available. Dream Big and Win Journal by Dr. Kimberly Clay, Ph.D. You might be thinking that dream big are two fancy words that fit only when it comes to the new year. On the contrary, it is to have a bigger picture of your achievement. I'm a business coach and organizational psychologist with years of experience in assisting individuals and businesses all over the United States in starting businesses and nonprofits and helping others to reach their goals. It's time for you to dream big and win. Dreams can come in all forms like education, relationships, spirituality, business, career, and parenthood. But whatever your dream is, I want to inspire you to do it big so that you can win in all areas of your life. I urge you to start dreaming big so that you can feed your brain on something positive. When you do that, your body, thoughts, and emotions will start to move towards that direction. Dream Big and Win Journal is available on Amazon.com, or you can call or text Dr. Kimberly Clay directly at 972-589-8319 to get your personal autographed copy. Yes, just text 972-589-8319 to get your personally autographed copy, or go to www.drkimberlyclay.com to order. That's www.drkimberlyclay.com to order your Dream Big and Win Journal. I believe in you. Family Vibes Counseling Incorporated is a nonprofit community service organization. The mission of Family Vibes Counseling is to provide support and therapeutic healing for families, marriages, and individuals, and to foster growth and development in individuals to create better communities. Family Vibes Counseling has a goal of reaching 2,000 plus families and youth locally, statewide, and nationally each year. We need your continued assistance to make this vision become a reality. Family Vibes Counseling has 501c3 status and will provide you with an IRS tax-deductible statement for your records. We thank you for your generosity. We are glad that you have chosen to donate an amount per month that you choose as a Family Vibes community partner towards our Family Vibes Women's Refuge or 24-hour youth center. You are always welcome to give more as you are blessed. Also, we are sure that you know of friends or family who would be interested in sowing into good ground. Please refer them to us or have them to contact us. We are grateful for your belief in our vision. Once again, thank you. And feel free to send individuals and families to us who can use our services. We are ready and able to help. Family Vibes Counseling provides individual counseling, family counseling, marriage counseling, and teen talk with Dr. Clay. Also, our Family Vibes Women's Refuge and our 24-hour youth center would love to come to a city near you. We have virtual sessions and events, and appointments are available 7 days a week. Give now at Cashapp, $Family Vibes INC. That's on Cashapp, $Family Vibes INC. Look for us on Givelify.com or the Givelify app at Family Vibes Counseling. Again, Cashapp, $Family Vibes INC, and Givelify, Family Vibes Counseling. We look for your support. We'll hear from you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Relationship Realities with Dr. Clay. Are you excited about being here? Like, I'm excited about being here. Well, go ahead and hashtag Relationship Realities, all together, all one word. That's the first time that we get to go against the English rules with the hashtag Relationship Realities. Come on, check into the classroom so that I know that you're here. Don't just sit in the background. Say hello and hashtag Relationship Realities to let us know that you are part of this cyber experience, this cyber classroom. I'm so excited to share with you all on a weekly basis concerning things that, you know, we deal with on a daily basis. All day, every day, we relate with people. All day, every day, we're in communication with others. Be it bad or good communication, we're yet in communication with others. So I wanted to help us to do that a lot better than we've been doing. Does anybody else want to be a better communicator? Do you want to have better relationships? Well, I know I do, and I'm learning right along with you. So I am appreciative of this spot, of this time to have with you, to share about communication, to share about healthy families, to share about trust issues, to share about self-esteem. There's so much that we're going to talk about together. But let's just go to God in prayer. Before we jump into class, we always ask that He bless everything that we do. Lord, we just thank you for today. We thank you for this moment in time that we will never see again. God, today you get the glory, you get the honor, you get the praise. God, open up our minds, open up our hearts to help us to see things the way you see them. Help us to see others and ourselves the way you see us. God, we just praise you. We thank you for clarity. We thank you for love and peace of mind. In Jesus' name, amen. Y'all, I love y'all. I love you. God loves you. And therefore, He has sent us this information in the form of relationship realities to help us in every situation. So let's look. On this particular edition of relationship realities, we're going to be talking about communication issues and solutions. You know, we never like to bring up a problem without actually bringing up a solution to that problem. We don't just want to leave you out there hanging, but we want to bring solutions to the problems. I need you, if you have not, welcome to Relationship Realities. If you have not checked in, hashtag relationship realities all together. You can do it all lowercase, or you can capitalize the R's, however you want to do it. It should tag us in, memo us in, hashtag relationship realities. I am Dr. Kimberly Clay. I am your facilitator for Relationship Realities. This is where we grow together. I am just so grateful to be connected with you all. I'm grateful to be able to share with you all of the things that I've gained over the years in my experience in dealing with others, with counseling individuals, with families. If you see the need and know that you really need to get into counseling, I urge you to reach out to Family Vibes Counseling Incorporated. It is, as you saw on the announcements, the nonprofit that I started. It's near to my heart. Reach out to us, and that contact information is here in this experience. Let's talk about communication issues and solutions. We've been talking about healthy relationships versus unhealthy relationships. A lot of these topics, they overlap. They interlay within each other. But we want to look at specifics. And that's what I deal with, specifics. I don't want to leave us out there where we just can't come to a better place in our lives, a better place in our communication, a better place in our relationships. And one thing that I want to make note of, and I always do this on each of our sessions, is that relationships are not just intimate relationships, or like the spousal or the girlfriend, boyfriend. Intimate relationships are not the only type of relationship. I know that may be what comes to mind when we hear the word relationship, but actually it's all human interaction, all human contact, the bonds that we have, friendships, mother, father, sister, brother, co-worker, employer relationships, pastor, member relationships. All of these relationships, even the relationship that we have with ourselves and our relationship with God, of course, we can't leave that out. But these are all important relationships in our lives, and we want to apply all of this that we learn across the board to all of these relationships. A lot of times we give ourselves too much space for error. We give ourselves too much room to do things all wrong before going down the line to correct it. We need to work on this now. The fact that God sent it to us now means we need to work on it now. Communication issues and solution. So look at this. I need y'all taking notes. Come on. If you don't have your note page out, take this moment before we jump in and go down to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen and hit that share button. Somebody needs this. Somebody needs this information. Somebody needs this interaction and this connection. Communication problems are the number one reason that couples split up. Now, we understand we said that intimate relationships are not the only type of relationship, but they are the most common because we live together, and we're together when we're married, and we see each other day in, day out as a couple. But communication problems are the number one reason that couples split up, with about 65% of couples blaming communication as the primary cause of divorce. Think about it. Even in your own life, communication, how is it? Is that a huge problem? It shows itself across the board, in households, in connections. Communication is a definite problem because people have not learned on a whole how to better communicate. So that's where I come in. Dr. Clay has relationship realities, and we want to help to do this better. We're into bringing families together, not pushing them apart. But there are certain things that we've got to put in place in order for our families to move forward. But it's not only romantic relationships that are affected by communication issues, okay? That is what I want to make so clear here on Relationship Realities. It's not just the romantic or the intimate relationships that have communication issues. They are often at the root of conflicts in our everyday lives. So communication issues are at the root of a lot of the problem that we have with others. It could be miscommunication or just poor or bad communication from us or from the other side. I know that I teach a class on Tuesday night. It's called The Locker Room. If you've not experienced The Locker Room, it is a Bible class, but I've been teaching on the power of forgiveness. And in that, we've learned that miscommunication or mistakes between others can also be seen as held in unforgiveness because we assume that the other person knew, but we never communicated with them that there was a problem. So this communication issue can be the root of conflicts in our everyday lives. We're thinking it's something else. We're thinking that people are purposely doing something to us, when in reality, it could be that there is not good communication. Somebody say hashtag communication. Put that in the comments. Hashtag communication. Perhaps, let's just look at it. Perhaps we fail to say what we mean, or we misinterpret words of another person. Let me say that again. I want you to get this in your notes. Perhaps we fail to say what we really mean. Many times that is totally true. We don't say what we really mean. We say one thing and mean something else. Or we misinterpret the other person's words. Y'all know we're in this age of texting where we don't call. When we're talking one to another or face to face, we can read body language. We can read the voice inflection, the up and down. That's the best way, is to hear each other talk. But in this age of texting, we can miscommunicate words in so many different ways. Each person has their own interpretation, so it's really hard to decipher what those words really mean, what that other person is really saying from that text. So when we look at it, we can misinterpret one another, or we fail to say what we mean. So whatever the blunder, whatever the mistake is, the failure, we could all benefit from recognizing our communication mistakes. It's not always the other person. We need to look inside ourselves. Tell somebody, look at yourself. Look at yourself. This is a self-reflection moment. Come on. We, in Relationship Realities, we get to the heart of what's really going on. We get to the heart of self. We're in here to help ourselves. We're not in here listening for a point from Dr. Clay to go back and shoot somebody else down. We are in Relationship Realities that we might better ourselves. Somebody say, I want to get better. Put that in the comment section. I want to get better. So whatever the blunder, we could all benefit from recognizing our communication mistakes and turning them into communication skills. Did you ever think that we could turn mistakes in communication into communication skills just by tweaking small changes in the way that we communicate together, the way that we speak, the way that we exchange information? Maybe we text in the past. Maybe we need to speak over the phone so that we don't get words misconstrued. So we don't have those blunders in communication going on between us. So I want to look at 10 communication problems and mistakes that we sometimes make so that we can come up with solutions for these problems. These are very common. We want to look at these. Come on, somebody say communication, hashtag communication. Okay, communication problems and mistakes. Number one, get these in your notes. Y'all know I'm not just teaching to be teaching. I need y'all to get these in your notes. We're going to practice this week. We're going to practice these communication issues and solutions. We're going to watch the issue and we're going to practice the solution. Take this moment before I go into number one. Go to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen once more. Hit that share button. I love you liking, I love you tagging, but I need you to hit that share button. Share it to your timeline, share it to your friends' timeline, share it to your groups. Go ahead and do that because I need you fully engaged in this classroom. Hit that share that one more time. Okay, number one, communication issues. Number one, not truly listening. When we are communicating with someone, we are often not communicating our full attention. We might be looking at our phones. Come on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We might be looking at our phones. We're in a conversation. We're supposed to be discussing back and forth, but we're looking at our phones. We may be watching television or even daydreaming about something else. But remind you, we're supposed to be discussing or communicating, speaking, and listening to one another. But we're on our phones, watching television, or daydreaming about something else. When we don't actively listen, somebody say actively listen. Come on, put that in the comments. Active listening. When we don't actively listen to the person we're speaking to, not only do we run the risk of making the person feel invalidated, but we also miss important nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues meaning things that are not spoken, but the contact, the eye contact, the voice inflection, we miss all of the cues that go along with it that are expressing how that person actually feels. And we may not fully understand the person's message because we're on our phone. I hear you. Yeah. Y'all know. You may not want to admit it, but we all have to admit it. We've been supposedly communicating with someone, but we're on our phone. Just all in. So distracted. That's a no-no. That's problem number one. Not truly listening. We may not understand the person's message. We miss things. So to avoid communication mishaps, here's the solution. It's best to give the speaker 100% of our attention. So we talk about the problem, but we come up with the solution. So number one is not truly listening, but our solution is to give the speaker 100% of our attention. Effective listening skills include making eye contact. Come on, say it. Eye contact. Asking clarifying questions. Get clarity. Make sure it's clear. So you're saying, oh, okay, so, okay. So you're saying this or you're saying, okay. And remain engaged throughout the communication. So number one, not truly listening is the communication issue. The solution is to give the speaker 100% of our attention. Effective listening includes making eye contact, asking clarifying questions, and remaining engaged throughout the communication. So look at number two. Communication issue number two. Assuming you know the message before the person finishes. Wow. How many times have we done that? How many times have we assumed that we knew the message before the person finished? How many times that, oh, I already know what you're going to say. I already know. I already know. We've all done it. We're listening to a friend speak and we already assume that we know what is going to be said before they finish their sentence. Somebody just say, "Oh, I'm guilty. I'm guilty." When we assume we know what the person will say, we will miss what is actually being said. Contrary to popular belief, people do have new things to say if we will listen. Honor the speaker. We show honor to each other. I know we are used to being around each other all the time. We're used to hearing each other's usual thoughts, but there are new and engaging thoughts that come about. So honor the other person. Honor the person who's speaking by remaining openly curious. Keep an ear open for something new and listening intently for the message rather than predicting what will be said. A lot of times we try to be good predictors. We think we know when we hear a person starting out and we think we know what they're going to say, but just wait until the end and listen to make sure that we get the message. So number two was assuming we know the message before the person finishes. The solution is to honor the speaker and listen intently for the entire message, okay? Number three, let's look at number three. Interrupting the speaker. Interrupting the speaker. We've probably all interrupted another person mid-sentence before. It can happen accidentally, or we may get excited about what we want to say. Have you ever been there? I've been there. We get excited about what we want to say, or fear we will forget our response. And that's my thing. A lot of times I have to work on that. I fear that I'm going to forget what I want to say, and I want to address all the issues. So I go ahead and say what I'm trying to say right then to make sure I address that issue. But others may interrupt during arguments as a power move. And sometimes it can be seen as such, to interrupt to keep the other person from speaking. But we have to be honorable to the other person to allow them to say what it is that they're saying. We're talking about communication issues and solutions. So allowing the person, as in number two, this is related to number two, that we talked about, assuming we know the message, to not interrupt and to allow them. We don't move a power play on them by stopping their thought. We may have to write down notes or just keep in mind what we want to address once they have relayed their message. Number four, using you statements instead of I statements. Communication, somebody say communication issues. Using you, pointing the finger, you. This is funny because if y'all notice, even APWM family, you notice that Pastor and I don't preach a you word. We always say we. Even when I'm teaching here in the classroom, I say we. Using you statements instead of I statements are a problem. When we're discussing our feelings with another person, we need to own those feelings rather than placing the responsibility on the other person. It doesn't feel good every time we open our mouths, we're blaming someone else for something. You need to do this. You need to fix that. Y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that. Well, what do I need to do? Come on, problem number four. What do I need to do? Using you statements instead of I. How impersonal. How impersonal. When we're discussing our feelings with another person, we need to own those feelings rather than place the responsibility on the other person. Come on. I need y'all to be big boys and big girls. We need to own up to our own mistakes. We need to own up to our own shortcomings, own up to our failures in communication, and let's get better. That's why we have relationship realities, so that we can get better. So we're not going to make you statements saying you did this or you didn't do that. The negativity being cast out to the other person. Y'all did this or y'all didn't do that. Well, what am I responsible for? Let me look at myself. Let me take a minute and breathe and see what I could have done differently in this situation before I start blaming everyone else, before I start casting fault on everyone else. What did I do? What did I do? So use statements instead of I. Let's start to use the I statements as our solution when we're discussing, and maybe we'll get a different outcome. I'm sure that we'll get a different outcome if we direct some of this at ourselves. I didn't understand. So maybe it was me, I misunderstood. So can you give me clarity on what you were saying? See how different that sounds, rather than blaming the other person and casting the shadow on them and saying they did something or they didn't do it. Well, I misunderstood. I may have failed in hearing the whole thought or knowing what was supposed to be done. So let me look at me. This is good. When we make I statements, we take ownership of how we feel, and we're less likely to make the other person feel attacked. Instead of saying you didn't call me back, just try saying I feel hurt. I felt hurt when you didn't return my phone call. I felt hurt. It's not all on you. This is a two-way street. Life is a two-way street. The blame is not always on someone else. We have parts to play in this thing called life. So the solution is to use I statements and redirect some of the attention back to ourselves. Let's look at communication issue number 5. Letting your emotions dictate your response. Wow. This is good stuff. Go down to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen once more and hit that share button. Share this with someone. Someone is, oh my God, wanting this help. They just haven't seen us yet. Number 5, letting your emotions dictate your response. When we react emotionally, and we talked about this again in the power of forgiveness, we have to take ourselves out of the equation and see things objectively. When we react emotionally, if we're quick with our emotions on our sleeves, we've got to get rid of that. That is so dysfunctional, y'all. We cannot wear our emotions on our sleeves. We are likely to say things that we don't mean when we're highly emotional. A good communicator allows emotions to sit for a while. We don't just immediately lash out at people. We don't immediately respond or say hurtful things to people from our emotions. We let them sit for a while and choose to carefully respond rather than react. You know what? This actually shows maturity in our character when we don't immediately emotionally respond. That shows immaturity. Total surefire sign of immaturity is a person who instantly reacts. Horrible communication. We cannot immediately react. We have to allow that thing to settle so that we can think and we react in a more mature fashion. Come on, we're maturing together. We're growing together. We've got to do better. We've got to change. It doesn't matter how long we've been communicating this way or dysfunctionally or in a bad manner. We can change this today. We can change it today. Put that in the comment section. I can change this today. So number 5 was letting our emotions dictate our response. For our solution, we let emotions sit for a while and choose to carefully respond. We're going to respond in a mature fashion. I like that. In a mature fashion. Number 6, communication issue number 6. These are good. Are y'all enjoying this? Are y'all getting it? Okay. Failing to account for cultural differences. Cultural differences in communication. Okay, this is very important now more than ever. Cross-cultural communication can be difficult. Words can take on different meanings, and cultural norms surrounding nonverbal communication may vary. In different cultures, in different arenas, communication and words mean different things. Nonverbal cues may mean different things. Distances between people are different. Many words are changed within the translation, so we have to look at that, especially on the job where we have international communication or international personalities working in a job together. We have to account for cultural differences, and that's where that ties into number 5, is to take a moment and think. We have to be objective and take ourselves out. A lot of times it's not really directed at us, but we get caught with our emotions. Our emotions get caught in the situation. So look and see if there could be another explanation within the cultural norms. When communicating with people from other backgrounds, other cultural backgrounds, it's important to account for cultural differences in communication styles. They may communicate on a more quiet, subtle fashion, and we may be more outright and upfront, and some of us are kind of like in your face kind of people, and we may need to learn in which situations to back off from that, where we're wearing our emotions on our sleeves. If we don't, we may accidentally offend. A lot of times we're like, oh, this is just me. I'm just being me. Well, sometimes we need to change who me is so that we are not offensive to others or miscommunicating with others with just being us. Why not become the better version of ourselves that we need to be? That's the whole reason why we are here in Relationship Realities, is to be the better version of me, the better version of us. So let's do this together. Let's grow together. Number 7. Let's look at number 7. Misinterpreting the message. This is huge. This is a huge communication issue. Misinterpreting the message. We started talking about this in number 1 and number 2, but number 7 is misinterpreting the message. We may misinterpret others more than we think. A lot of times we think people are saying one thing and they are totally not saying what we're thinking. To avoid this, it's best to give the other person our full attention. Somebody say that in the comment section. I want to make sure you get this. Full attention. Full, Full, full attention, meaning not partial, not half attention, not no attention at all, but full attention. Give the person our full attention and paraphrase the message back to them. That way we know, we say it back. So you're saying that. So is this what you were saying to me? Paraphrase it, put it in your own words and say it back to them, because many times we're misinterpreting. We just go off on a tangent and are instantly mad, instantly upset, and we misinterpret it. So we paraphrase the message back to the person speaking to ensure that we have understood correctly. Look at this. In today's society, I'm telling you, more than ever, this is huge, to misinterpret the message. In today's society, we're susceptible to misinterpretation. We rely heavily on technology. We're texting, we're sending messages, we're sending emails without tone of voice and nonverbal cues. So we have no tone of voice. We have no up and downs in the voice where we can hear the emotion in the voice. where the emails we're reading is similar to a text. We're not able to hear the person speak. We're limited in technology, and it's causing problems where we're miscommunicating. Humans were not intended to communicate in their fashion. We were intended to communicate face to face in face to face communication. So we have to learn how to make sure that we're paraphrasing back to the other person to be sure that we didn't get that thing incorrect. So be sure to use appropriate punctuation. Oh my God, I'm so big on this. There is no way we could write 2 paragraphs and not have a period or a comma anywhere. A no pause, no nothing. Come on, y'all. Use the punctuation. We all had to take English to graduate. Take a moment and use a period. Take a moment and use punctuation to make sure that people can really understand what we're saying. We know what we're thinking when we're typing or when we're texting, but can the other person understand what we're saying? Can the other person understand? It can be easy to misunderstand each other. When using text or email communication, be sure to use this punctuation and ask clarifying questions. Get clarity. So you're saying, there goes that paraphrasing again, to make sure that I heard what I think I heard. Ask these questions to ensure that you understand. So we don't want to get caught up in misinterpreting the message. This is a huge relationship and communication issues for people worldwide. And we want to do better with this. It starts with us. No, we don't come in to get the information to go chew somebody else up and spit them out. How can I be better from this information? How can I be better at learning how to interpret the message that someone else is giving me? Number 8, communication problem number 8, being indirect. Being subtle and or indirect in communications is usually ineffective. A lot of times we're trying to speak around the issue, sometimes called going around the mulberry bush, kind of talking at people, whereas that's so ineffective. It would make sense to talk directly to the person so that we can get clarity on what the thought is and what's being expected. We can't expect other people to read our minds. Come on, for the people in the back, put that in the comment section. Nobody can read your mind. Nobody can read your mind. Make sure they get that in the back section. Y'all turn around and tell them nobody can read your mind. If you want someone to understand you, try by being direct and try not to beat around the bush in conversation. Don't beat around the bush. Don't say something that you don't mean. Say directly what you mean what you say what you mean, so that people have clarity in your message. They have clarity. They can know what to expect from you. If you love them, tell them you love them. If you have a problem, say that you didn't understand so that they can give you their response. Don't throw things out there and not wait for a response, but get clarity in all your dealings. Number 9, attacking character rather than behavior. This is huge. Attacking character rather than behavior. When we're upset with someone, how many of y'all have been upset with somebody? Everybody's hand should be up. I see y'all on this. Everybody's hand should be up. Attacking character. When we're upset with someone, it's easy to say things like, you're a jerk, you're an idiot, you're stupid, rather than attack someone's character. And effective, this is the solution. Communicators should address the actual behavior issue and leave it at that. We just talk about the behavior because it could be a really intelligent or a really great person, but they just had a behavior flaw at that moment. That was just a behavior that was out of line with their character. So we don't take it upon ourselves to attack someone's character. the actual person that they are. It was just an off behavior at that moment. So we just want to get clarity and make sure, you know what, I really didn't understand why you did that. Can you explain that to me? Or why you reacted that way, or why you did. Can you give me clarity? See, this is good. That goes back to misinterpreting the message. We don't attack a person's character. That's not the first things. That's wearing our emotions on our sleeves again. Don't attack character. We address behavior. And number 10, avoiding difficult conversations. We've all done it. We've all done it. We think that we can let it go until a later time. The later time never comes. Avoiding difficult conversations. When faced with a possibility of a difficult conversation, many people choose to avoid or prolong the conversation. Are we guilty of this? Come on. Everybody's hand should be up again. Again. We've prolonged or avoided the conversation as long as possible. People usually perceive a conversation as difficult when they're faced with telling someone something that person does not want to hear. We've all had these situations where we knew the person did not want to hear what we had to say. We've prolonged it. We've put it off. Maybe the person, we knew they were in a place of immaturity, or whatever the problem is, we avoid, and that actually, or prolong, and it actually causes a greater problem because that person is still reacting in a way or in a place of immaturity, and they're continued to go or to linger on because we've not said something. It might be delivering bad news to someone, or bringing up a conflict or an interest, something that includes the both of us, or may include a group of people or a family, something that needs to be addressed. So an effective communicator remains open and honest. Are you an effective communicator? That's what I want to know. That's who we want to become. If you effectively communicate, you should be able to help bring the best out of others. We don't bring the worst out of people. We want to bring the best out of them. We honestly address issues as soon as they arise, rather than avoiding or prolonging important discussions. Perhaps we dread telling our children about a diagnosis, or don't want to hurt our partner by revealing something going on in the relationship. But whatever the topic, avoiding difficult conversations only makes matters worse on the long term. That's not what we want. We wouldn't be here in Relationship Realities if we didn't want to get better, if we didn't want our communication and our relationships, our friendships, our connections to be better. So how can we do this? We learned already that tension can build, and we may end up bringing up the issue at the wrong time. There's nothing worse than bringing up an issue that I really felt at the wrong time. That can create an additional problem when things are already heated, they're already hot, and then the issue comes up. So we run the risk that that person will receive the information from a third party first, because I haven't said anything. Just think, I'm the person closest, the person who's responsible for bringing this information to this person. They can hear it somewhere else because I've delayed talking to the other person. So we want to be effective communicators. We want to remain open and honest and address these issues as soon as they come. Look back at it. Number 1, not truly listening. We want to address these issues as they come. We want to have better communication. We want to know how to deal with each other. We want to be in a better place with each other, of dealing with our relationships, dealing with our feelings, doing what we know that we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to contribute to each other. So let's look at it. Not truly listening is number 1. The solution: give the other person our 100% attention. Number 2, assuming that we know the message before the person finishes. Solution to that is honor the speaker. Remain open and listen intently. Number 3, interrupting the speaker. We do this by giving them our attention, listening for the full thought, and not interrupting keeping our thought in mind or our response in mind. Number 4, using you statements instead of I. That's the communication issue. But the solution is to use more I statements. I didn't understand, or I need clarity. Number 5, letting your emotions dictate your response. The solution is to allow emotions to sit for a while and choose a careful, mature response. Number 6, failing to account for cultural differences. The solution, take a moment to take ourselves out and think objectively on how differently we think or the backgrounds that we came from to see if there's something that we can interject to make it better. Number 7, misinterpreting the message. The solution is to listen to the whole message. Try to speak to them directly, either by a phone call or in person, so that we can pick up on all the cues, the eye contact, the voice inflection. Get clarity. Number 8, communication issue is being indirect. Solution, try being direct and not beat around the bush. Number 9, attacking character rather than behavior. Solution, rather than attacking character, address just the behavior and leave it at that. And number 10, avoiding difficult conversations. Don't avoid the conversation, but be an effective communicator as the solution. Be open and honest and address issues as they arise. I hope that you've enjoyed this session. I know it's going to help you practice these solutions on this week. Make sure you get your notes. I love you, and I'll see you next time on Relationship Realities. If you need us, reach out to us, 972-589-1925. Family Vibes Counseling Incorporated. We need your support. Thank you.